So this was Live, Love and Us, and moving on with the launch of the second book, it is The Legend of Sanjigiri by Professor Manju Jedka, but let me introduce, she is a force to reckon with, and ma'am will mind it, I know. But okay, she's a distinguished Fulbright and Rockefeller Fellow. Professor Manju Jedka is the former professor and chairperson of the Department of English, Punjab University. Ma'am has authored nearly 30 books, including very acclaimed Scandal Point, and she is also the founder of MELO, Society for Multi-Ethnic Literatures of the World. And she's here to discuss her latest, to formally launch her book, her latest novel, The Legend of Sanjigiri. The story follows an academician stranded by the COVID-19 lockdown in Mahasu Hills, drawn into a multi-layered drama where science, myth, and destiny converge amidst the whispered legends of a hill goddess. So let us brace ourselves for the formal release of this book. And more about the book from the very accomplished author herself, I invite Dr. Sonika Sethi to be in conversation with her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am here on the stage in front of all of you with the legendary Dr. Manju Jedka. She's a prolific writer, and you would be happy to know that the book that she'll be talking about today is her 31st book. So not a mean feat at all. So at the outset, ma'am, heartiest congratulations to you on your latest book, The Legend of Sanjigiri. And the novel has already garnered much acclaim worldwide, glowing reviews from readers alike from across the world. So for the benefit of our audience today, I would like to ask you a couple of questions that will help us better understand the book and the ideas behind the book. So with
Thank you,
permission,
Sonika. May I say a word before we begin?
Yes, sure.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here. And I have been in Chandigarh probably longer than most of you because I first came here in 1969. So you can calculate, I've been here for more than half a century. And I love the place. And at the same time, I've had the opportunity to travel. So my roots are here. Chandigarh is where my roots are. But then I have wings that make me fly and come back. And well, today my book, it may be the 30th, it may be the 31st. Frankly, I stopped counting after I crossed 20 because I thought nobody would believe me. So today my book is going to get wings and it's going to fly. It's been around for a while, but you know how it is when you have your first child, you have a big pomp and show, birthday party and tum-tum and grand tom-tom and and a lot of hullabaloo. Then the second child, it's a little less, and there are fewer new clothes. With the third child, it's hand-me-down. And well, with the 30th or the 31st child, you can imagine what happens. ठीक है भाई आगे है तो कोई बात नहीं. We are welcome, and we will have a party whenever we can. And so today, it's going to have wings, even though it's been around for about 7-8 months now. And on Amazon, sorry I'm taking your time, Sonika. On Amazon, it's generally not available, either because it flies off the shelf, I don't know. But from time to time, I have to remind the publisher, please काके किताबें तो डाल दे और बिक तो जाएं अच्छा लगेगा. So here, I'm not sure if the book is here, The Legend of Sanjigiri. I enjoyed writing it the way I enjoy writing most of my books. So my books have at least one fan, and that's me. I love it. And of course, all my friends are very good. They say the right kind of things, they make the right kind of noises, and they say, you are great. And I say, oh, I love you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, Sonika, what is it we were talking about?
So all the best to the author and to the fan.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonika. And yes, I'm so lucky to have Sonika, this lovely lady out here. Of course, she eclipses me, but that's okay. She has the youth, she has the grace, and she has all advantages. She should eclipse me because our younger generation should be much better than we are. Thank you, Sonika, for agreeing to talk to an doddering old woman like
No
me.
way, no way. You are not a doddering old woman. And I think now it's time we should move beyond the mutual admiration club. So, coming up first, ma'am, you have beautifully in your novel blended blood the boundaries between the folklore and the lived experience. So, what inspired you to intertwine the rational world of academia and with the mystical presence of Sanji Mai?
We always write stories about the things that we know best. And that is when we can really put in our best, our lived experiences. So our stories, no matter how much we say that it's all imagination, it's all fabrication, they always have roots in reality. My first book, I was a little apologetic about it because I felt it was kind of half autobiographical. But then I realized the more I read and the more I taught, because I've taught for 50 years. Last year I taught for, finished 50 years, and I hung up my boots. I said enough is enough.
Wow.
Other people should get a chance to step into those shoes. So after 50 years of teaching, actually I'm not all that old, you know. I started when I was just 2 years old. So what happened was I realized that most of the books are autobiographical, and you can't escape it. How can you escape your lived experience? So because I have been a teacher all my life, a lot of my experiences as a teacher, as a researcher, as a student come into the book. But then there are other experiences also that we weave in with our personal stories, and we reach out to the world, all the interesting things that happen to us. And believe me, life is so interesting. I mean, every day you come across an incident that you can write about, that you can laugh at. Am I right? True. And she herself is a young teacher, and I'm sure in a place like Ambala, I grew up in Ambala incidentally, and I have fond memories of the place.
I remember.
In a place like Ambala, well, there are so many things that I still remember, a lot of legends out there, and combine those legends with your personal lived experience, and what do you have? Well, you have a book like The Legend of Sanji Giri. So it was partly lived experience and partly imagination and partly folklore, because I'm a person from Chandigarh, I'm a person of the plains, but after I retired from Punjab University, I got the opportunity to live in the hills for 3 glorious years. And, you know, that experience was life-changing. You know, I describe in this book how you can actually hear the hills speaking to you, the landscape talks to you, and when you sleep, the whole environment enters your consciousness. And that is what I experienced. And plus, it was the COVID times. So you know what happened in the COVID times? We all are caught up in a cocoon. We are isolated from each other, and then you have the sound of the hills, you have the swishing of the trees, you have the wind blowing through the pine leaves, you have the birds, you have the monkeys screeching, and you have all those influences around you. Why should they not go into a story? They have to go into a story. And then so many other things happen. You lose your loved ones, people die, you hear of all sorts of things happening around you. So all that goes into the book, and yes, there is an element of crime also, because somebody is out there to make money, to make an easy buck, so that also goes into a story. Yeah, there are a lot of threads that come together, but then life is like that. It's not one single string that we have. There are many strings that come together. It's a texture woven with many strands. And that is what we have here. Not just reality, we have myth, we have folklore, we have
mystical experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's so well put, ma'am. In fact, you have covered the second question that I was about to ask you, that the novel is set up during the times of pandemic. So you've already taken up that part also. So I'll move on to my next question,
Sure.
which is about the Mahasu Hills that you've talked in your novel. And the hills almost emerge as a character in their own right. So how did your personal connection with the Himalayan region influence your novel's atmosphere? And did the folklore of the mountains play a role in shaping the narrative voice in the novel?
I was not even aware of the Mahasu Hills before I went to teach in Himachal. But gradually, you know, I heard the songs of the place, I heard the folklore, and I heard little stories from here and there, and all that came together. And you know, when you spend a lot of time with yourself, particularly in pandemic, during the pandemic days, then all these stories take a concrete form. And plus, at that time, there was also a great forest fire, which I saw for the first time. I had never seen a forest fire. We don't have forest fires in Chandigarh. So there was a forest fire which was absolutely unnerving. That also had to go into the book. So what was it that you asked me? How do I relate to Mahasu?
The Mahasu Hills, they
Yeah.
emerge kind of
And
a
then-
character in
yeah.
the novel.
And then the character Sanji, the character
Sanji Mai.
Sanji, she's actually Sanji Mai, she's a goddess. Now, from my childhood, I remembered that in Haryana, in a village in Haryana, they used to praise a certain goddess called Sanji.
Yeah.
Sanji Mai, Artha,
They
Artha
create
ke phool.
they create Sanji
Yeah,
also.
Yeah. And I haven't heard too many stories, too many tales, or too many legends about her. So I decided to put Sanji Mai into the story. But then that Sanji is modeled on a real woman. On a real woman who has a bad experience with an employer who takes advantage of her, who rapes her. She's a very simple woman who's come from Bihar, that side, in order to earn a livelihood with her husband. But then she has this bad experience, and one thing leads to another, and finally she goes and hangs herself on this hill which comes to be called Sanjigiri. So she becomes a sort of a goddess. So there is no Sanjigiri as such out there in the place where I live, but there are lots of these gods and goddesses whose presence you feel all the time. Because, you know, that probably explains why people in the hills are so devout. There are so many temples and so on, because, you know, you're living at the mercy of the forces of nature, the mountains that are so imposing. You can't help being influenced by them. So this is a mixture of the various ideas that were playing in my mind.
Wonderful, ma'am. And for the readers who are encountering the legend of Sanji Mai for the first time, what is that one powerful reason you believe that they should read this book? And what unique experience or insight do you hope they carry with them when they turn the final pages of the book?
For one thing, I would love everyone to read it, because the greatest thing you would get is the heartfelt gratitude of the writer. And then I did enjoy writing it. And because I enjoyed writing it so much, I feel that I would love to communicate my ideas to you. All writers would like to do that, I'm sure. So I would love to carry the story to you. But then, you see, I have been a teacher all my life. I am not a marketer. I am not into marketing or commercialism. I can only write a book. I can only tell a story. I do not know how to market it. I'm not a Chetan Bhagat. So I would say that if the book goes round and if it is liked, I would be really happy. But with all our limitations, the limitations of a poor teacher, and when, you know, my children, when they were young, they used to say, "Mummy, you're a teacher or a teacher?" Well, whether it's a teacher or a teacher, never mind. But there are certain things we cannot do. We can only write stories. And a true writer, a true artist is not the one who says, "Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book." He's the one who lives in his or her ivory tower and writes or paints or whatever. They are not really concerned about the monetary gains. So कुछ आता है, appreciation आती है तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं. चंडीगढ़ से मुझे बहुत प्यार मिला है. I've worked, I've lived in Chandigarh for so long, and I have, you know, the credit for starting literature festivals actually goes to me. Because when I was heading the Chandigarh Sahitya Academy, we had the first Chandigarh Literature Festival, and that is when all these, after that, everyone started, all these societies started, and everyone says, ours is the first literature festival, ours is the first literature festival. Fine, great. So there are so many first literature festivals, but ours was really the first.
Thank you, ma'am. We really appreciate all your efforts.
And then you see, it's the academic world. I don't know if there are any teachers. I'm sure there are some teachers and students around. And well, there would be echoes, there would be resonances of their own experiences, their own lives. And well, I would love that if some of you could read it and get back to me. Yeah.
They would certainly. Thank you for taking us through the captivating world of Sanji Giri. We wish all the success to your book, and we wish that it reaches a wider audience. Thank you for being with us today, and I request all the audience to order the book today from Amazon, and they can always talk to you once you step down from the podium.
Sonika,
Thank
for
you
being
so
the
much.
best moderator in the world, and thank you for being such a great audience. I love you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I have personally always looked up to you for so many reasons, and you really have gift of gap. You have a way with words. And this session reinforced how stories